All right, guys. So today I'm going to show you guys how to use image trace in Illustrator. First off, this has kind of been my little workspace where I've been doing all my little demos. I'm going to click on the canvas or the artboard button, and I'm going to click on a pre-existing canvas if I want to copy it, or I can just drag and create a new canvas. This is what's lovely about Illustrator is you can have like 100 different little canvases going on. All right, so I have an image I downloaded. Let's see if I can actually find it. Did I download it? Let's see, did I? Yes. So I have a drawing and I want to vectorize this drawing. So I'm going to drag it from my Finder and drop it into Illustrator, and it's going to turn out massive. That's okay. I'm just going to hit Control minus to zoom out. And I'm going to just go up to the corner, hold down Shift to keep the ratio. And I'm just going to scooch it smaller so that it kind of fits in my box a little better. Perfect. So I'm going to show you guys image trace. Image trace is just a way of vectorizing something. I'm going to show you, though, the difference between doing it by hand and doing it via image trace. So I'm going to click my little artboard button again. I'm clicking on this artboard. I'm going to hold down Alt, sorry, not Shift, Alt. And I'm going to make a copy of this. Gonna release my mouse before I release Alt. Whenever you copy an artboard, it copies anything that's on that artboard as well. Let me scooch some of my junk over here. Okay. All right, so on this side, I'm gonna show you what image trace looks like. And on this side, we're gonna see what it looks like when I do it by hand, all right? So image trace though, what you need to do is just click on your image, and then up at the top, you'll see a button that says image trace. I'm gonna click the arrow next to it. And because I'm just worried about this eye, I just want this kind of like eye logo I was trying to make. I'm going to click black and white logo. And it's going to ask me, it's going to say, hey, this might be slow. Do you still want to go? I'm like, yes, I do. Voila. So what it's done is the computer has simplified this into black and white. Notice it's not great. We got weird stuff going on up here. That's what this little menu is right here for, the image trace panel. If I grab that, I can adjust the threshold, which the threshold is how much black the computer is recognizing. And so right now, I'm not worrying about this top and bottom area because I can get rid of that. I'm just worried about this looking the way I want. And I usually use the black and white logo because usually I'm just sketching an idea, but you can also like choose some of the other ones. Like they have I think they actually have one for like technical drawing or sketch art, but I found that those don't always look the best. Well, of course, now as I say that, it looks okay. So anyway, you find what you want. If you are using the black and white logo, make sure you click advanced and ignore white. That way it'll get rid of the white. So now if I drag this image off the canvas, you can see there is no white. It's just black. That's what I want. When you're happy with how your main drawing looks, you're going to go up top and click expand. That releases it from the image trace. But now, of course, I've got this garbage up top and below that I don't want. So what I'm going to do is click on it. It's all grouped together right now. I want to ungroup it. To do that, just right click and go to ungroup. Once I do that, you'll see I can click on different elements and they're isolated. They're not part of the whole group. They're separate. So I can just click down here. I can even drag my little mouse and just get rid of any little garbage I don't want, because all I want is the eyeball here. Awesome. So image tracing is great sometimes if you want that sketch quality, but notice this looks kind of messy. I'm not sure this really looks like a logo. Image trace is good if you're trying to get the sketch quality. So that might be good if you're doing like illustrations that like are part of a brand. Maybe that'd be a good thing. But it is a good way to get started. So you could use this and kind of go from there to create a logo. Or if I go over here, I'm going to try to do this by hand, meaning pen it out by hand. All right. So this is going to be using the pen tool mainly. First, this is going to be my reference. I need to click on it and I need to lower the opacity. So up here in this toolbar, instead of clicking image trace, I'm going to go and lower its opacity. just enough so I can see it. And then I'm going to right click, or actually not right click, click on it, and then go to Object Lock Selection. And I do this so that as I'm drawing, it doesn't move this image. All right, now what I want to do is I want to zoom in so that this is in a good spot for me to work. Great. So now I need to actually trace this all out, which sounds tedious, but it's going to be worth it in the end. So I'm going to go over and grab my pen tool right here. It's also the P. If you hit the P on your keyboard, you'll get it. And I actually can just click once right here, kind of at the bottom of the eye. And then I'm going to click up here at the top, and then I'm going to click and drag to kind of create the curve. And then down here to create the end of it. And notice it just filled it all in. That's because I don't have a fill, or I don't have a stroke, I only have a fill. So I just need to switch that. There you go. Awesome. So I'm just making the arch of my eye right now. And you might be wondering, okay, why didn't you just outline all of it? I'll show you why. I'll show you why. We're gonna figure that out. To adjust this curve, if it didn't turn out right, like I think over here it's a little too arched, I'm just gonna grab my white arrow and drag the handlebar in a bit. Awesome. So this is where, if you were wondering why why I didn't outline like the whole thickness area here, it's because I can just click on my width tool, click on my line, click and drag, boom, and it'll create the width of the top of the eye without me having to actually outline it all myself. So just like a little shortcut, and I can still kind of move this around. I can still add points. So I'm just going to adjust this down a bit. So that's just an easier way to do things. And I'm going to actually do that down here as well. So again, I'm grabbing my pen tool, clicking to add major points. Usually when you're using the pen tool, you don't want to make too many points because then it'll just make things look sloppy. Usually you just want a few points. So, and I want to make this look as clean as I can. That's pretty good. Now I'm going to grab my width tool again. And boom. Nice. And I'm going to go ahead and do that to create this. This is kind of like part of the eyelid. So like that. Move him in a bit. There you go. And for the lashes here, it's the same idea. I'm going to do them over here though, so you can kind of see. But I'm going to click once, and then that's like be the top of the lash, and then click down here. That'd be the base. And I'm going to make this curved. And then I can click escape to kind of release a line. Perfect. And now I'm going to grab my width tool. And instead of going in the middle, I went in the middle to create these guys because I wanted it tapered on the edges, on the ends. Instead, I'm going to go to the very end, click and drag to create an eyelash shape. And then I'm just going to place it. And I hold down Alt. When I see those stacked arrows, I know I can click, drag, and make a copy. Click, drag, and make a copy. And I'm just tilting them a little bit. And that's just because that's the way I want them to look. Now notice this last lash has a little corner coming off to the side. That's fine. I don't care. I'll deal with that later. Now I got to do this middle part. Now I can cheat a little bit, and what I can do is make a circle, and then I can delete the top point by using my white arrow, clicking the top, hitting delete. And then this point's at a good spot, but I think I want this one to be further down. So I'm actually going to add a point. And how I do that is you want to click plus, the plus button, and that's going to give you the add anchor point tool. I'm going to click add right there. And then this top one I don't need anymore. So I'm going to click backspace to delete him. Okay, and now it's the same idea that I did before. I'm going to use my width tool. And I think I'm going to make him I think I'm just going to make him like this. That wasn't my original plan, but I think that fits the vibe going on. And then little pupil, it's just a circle. So I'm just going to throw in a circle right there. Like that. Awesome. So just doing that, just look how clean that looks compared to the image trace. So image trace is a tool, but you can see that doing it yourself often looks better. It just yields more. But right now, these are all still lines, right? They're not shapes, and I want them to be shapes so that I can merge them all together, clean stuff up, yada, yada, yada. So to do that, I am going to, with my black arrow, click, drag to select everything. And then I'm going to go to Object, Expand, Appearance. And what that does is it tells the computer, hey, just make everything that has like a certain width or thickness, just make it look like what it is, which is a shape. So if I click Expand Appearance, it converted all those lines to shapes. And now, if I select them all again, you can see all my shapes, and we can see that annoying little corner right there that I don't like. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to where I find my paint bucket tool. I'm going to right click on it, and I'm going to click Shape Builder tool. When I have that selected, I'm just ghosting. I'm not even clicking. I'm ghosting over, and it'll show you all the separate shapes. These are all separate shapes, which is not good. I want them to be all one shape together. So this little corner I need to get rid of though. So I'm going to zoom in with my shape builder, which is Shift M. I'm going to click on this little corner and delete him. Oops, did that wrong. Come on, why isn't he letting me delete? Oh, missed a step. Before I delete or hit the shape button thing, I want to make sure that with all these selected, let's see, I want to go expand. Oh, I made it more difficult than I needed to be. So once you convert these all to shapes and then you go Object, Expand, it separates them. So then you could just click on any little shapes you don't like and hit delete. So sorry, I made that way too complicated than I need to be. So now what I can do is I can go Object, Unlock, and I can get rid of my background image. So here we can see this is something I made, I built, something I built that I need to merge the shapes together. To merge those shapes, I'm just going to grab them all. I'm going to find the Pathfinder, and I'm going to hit Unite. So it's all one beautiful shape together. Now this is just way cleaner than this. So again, this over here was using image trace, which I'm not saying is bad, but I'm just saying is something that should never be used to just kind of cheat making the logo. Like you never want to use image trace to trace other people's logos and like use them as your own. And over here, this was using the pen tool, pen and width tool. Yeah, there you go. All right. So anyway, that's just a little intro to the pros and cons of image trace versus pen tool.